So, The Godfather Part 2 is one of the best films that I've ever seen. Not just one of my favorite gangster films, but one of my favorite films, period. This film literally does everything perfect. It's long, but it never feels long. It's perfectly paced. The dialogue is spot on, it's perfectly acted, directed, the sound. This film is the definition of cinema. But I could go on and on about this film all day. The main thing that I want to touch on today is the evolution of Michael Corleone. The guy that we met at Connie's wedding in the beginning of The Godfather Part 1 is not the same guy that we see in The Godfather Part 2 and, The Godfather Part 3. But I don't want to really talk about that film too much. It's really kind of tragic, the whole story of the evolution of Michael Corleone. He never wanted to be part of the family, but it was thrust upon him, and he had no choice but to be put in this life. This life was just thrust upon Michael, and what was he going to do? Was he going to say no to his father's wishes and the life and business that his father had built up from scratch? He wasn't going to do that. His only option was to take the mantle and to do the best job that he possibly could at being the Godfather. But when it came to this life and the game that they were playing, Michael won. Don't get me wrong. He got everything he wanted. He got rid of all his enemies, everyone that backstabbed him in the past, and everyone that tried to hurt him, and anyone that might try to hurt him in the future. He got rid of all of them. But there was a cost to him being the victor in this mafia game. He lost a lot. He lost his family, all the ones around him that truly cared about him. Even at the end of Godfather Part 2, he lost his brother, Frank Pentangeli, he lost Kate, but he still had the kids. But even at the end of Godfather 3, we all know what happened to Mary, so, even that didn't last. And I think that goes to say a lot more about life than just a good story in a fantastic movie. You see, in this movie, Michael Corleone won by staying alive and killing his enemies, but at a price. He lost everyone that was really close to him. He ended up lonely. And that's life, We always have to make sacrifices in life. We have to sacrifice in order to get to the top and in order to get to the things we want. Victory comes at a price. And to some people it's worth it, and to others it's not. We all have boundaries and lines we won't cross and things we refuse to sacrifice. I think in life, we all have goals and visions in mind. And we all want to be the best at what we do. And we all want to win at the game of life. But I think not many people are ready for the heavy toll that winning really takes on us. Not many of us are willing to sacrifice some of the things that we love most in this world in order to get what we desire. A lot of people just want to have their cake and eat it too. But that's not realistic. That's not life. There can be a balance, don't get me wrong. There can be options where you give up a little bit of everything in order to have a piece of everything. But if you want to see your goals accomplished to the fullest extent and you want to win at the game of life undoubtedly, then there will have to be sacrifices that must be made. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much those sacrifices can really weigh on us. Choices have consequences. And whether you're ready or not for those consequences, they're going to happen. And a lot of people that say they want to win and say they want to accomplish this and that aren't truly ready to actually pay that price. Think about your actions. Think about what sacrifices have to be made in order to reach your goal. And think about if it will truly be worth it at the end of the day. To some it is, to others it's not. And there's nothing wrong with that, everybody's different. Too many times I see just influencers at the top of their platform, and a lot of people say, oh, I want to live that life, I want to do this and that, but they're not ready for the sacrifice it takes. They're not ready to have that which they want, but at the same time lose that which they don't want to lose. This comes at a price. You're going to have to distance yourself from some people. You're going to have to alienate yourself from some people. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of partying, a lot of fun, a lot of free time. You're really going to have to buckle down. Not everybody's going to like that. Sometimes you're going to distance yourself from people because you're working on your goals and those people aren't going to like that, and friendships are going to break. Now that's part of the game of life. That's just is what it is. We all have either people that we leave behind or they leave us behind. No one stays in the same position and keeps the same people around them throughout their entire lives. We all have to make sacrifices in life, and there are just some non-negotiables in life. But when it comes to sacrifice, we have to weigh the options. Some people don't realize the sacrifice that winning truly comes with. Sometimes they're ready for it, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes when you're not ready for it, it hits you like a ton of bricks, and you end up like Michael at the end of Godfather 2 and 3, just sitting alone in solitude, just thinking about your life, thinking about the consequences, and thinking about your choices. And that's just life. But that's about all I have to say on that topic for now. Peace.